This is day two, take two. We failed at take one, so we're going to try and do take two all in one take. What is going on? It is your podcast host, Nate Larrier of The Talking Block. You are here on YouTube watching The Talking Block live or on Spotify, a podcast, wherever you get your audio podcast from. I thank you for taking the time to join in today and chat with me. Another week, another day, and some beautiful weather. It is actually 73 degrees outside. And it's not too chilly, it's not too hot, it's not too, it's just right. As you can tell, I'm excited because we are back. We are better than last week. I know that last week, as I like to say, I want to always give my 100%. Sometimes that's not always 100. Sometimes it might be 50, and that's just how I was feeling. But this week, we're back. We're better. We're ready to roll. And why not? As you know, and as I said in the little cut scene, this is day two, take two. Day one went a little iffy. Some things happened, and eventually I was just like, forget it. I do want to address that I will try to post as frequently as possible. Right now, I don't know what that looks like because with the NFL season coming up, I want to kind of fall in line with the NFL season. So making sure that week one is week one, week two is week two, and I'm not doing week one on week three and not week three on week five, So I want to be able to make sure that I'm staying consistent within the NFL season. So right now, there is no set time and date for specific episodes to be out. I will say that once the NFL season is over, I'm hoping to post every Thursday. It will just see how things go, especially with me going to school and work. But as for right now, I will try to stay consistent, posting about every week. If not, my bad. In that note, I do want to try something new. We're going to take a little test drive. It's not a question of the day, but it is a question that I pose to you guys. Hopefully that you guys will answer. What are we expecting from this NFL season? I mean, not just from the players, but also from the team as a whole, some of the coaches, some of the fans, such as Cowboys fans. I know that many people are not Cowboys fans, so do you guys think they're going to get better or not? What are we expecting from the mascots? I know that Bluey is definitely going to have something out there for us this year. So what are we expecting? Tell me what you got going on in the comments. Not a question of the day, but it is a question of the day. But the question of the day, that's not a question of the day, is what are you expecting this NFL season? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, all right. Now, where do I go from here? I don't know. You tell me. Do any of you know? No, I'm just kidding. I know. Poem of the day. Poem of the day is what I like to call a little brain teaser, a little getting the juices flowing. Today's poem of the day. When I talk about what the meaning is, I kind of broke it down yesterday, so I do kind of know the meaning, but I still am a little stumped. So we're still gonna dissect it in a way where I think now that I have a lot more information, I can tell you more of what I'm thinking. But we'll get into all that. Okay? All right. Today's poem of the day, the title is "The Poet Dreams of the Mountain" by Mary Oliver. Sometimes I grow weary of the days with all their fits and starts. I want to climb some old gray mountain, slowly taking the rest of my lifetime to do it. Resting often, sleeping under the pines or above them on the unclothed rocks. I want to see how many stars are still in the sky that we have smothered for years, a century at least. I want to look back at everything, forgiving it all, and peaceful, knowing that last thing there is to know. All that urgency, not what the earth is about. How silent the trees, their poetry being of themselves only. I want to take slow steps and think appropriate thoughts. In 10,000 years, maybe a piece of the mountain will fall. That is Mary Oliver, The Poet Dreams of the Mountain. And I do want to break something down. Mary Jane Oliver was an American poet who won the National Book Award and Pulitzer Prize. She found inspiration for her work in nature and had a lifelong habit of solitary walks in the wild. She was born September 10th, 1935 in Maple Heights, Ohio. She did die January 17th, 2019 at the age of 83 in Hobe Sound, Florida. it's kind of funny when you look things up how much more you can do. Because when I decided to look her up, and I will definitely be looking at more of her work, but when you look her up, just that little tidbit, that she likes to take solitary walks and she's inspired by nature. I think I was on the right track, and how I was breaking it down is she talks about she wants to climb an old gray mountain, sleeping under the pines or above them on unclothed rocks. When you think of unclothed rocks, well, when you think of something unclothed, you think natural, you think organic. So I'm thinking, she's talking about being on a mountain, so I'm thinking rigid rocks, whatever trail she's on. And then you kind of go down under, she's of course sleeping under the pines or above them. So she's either at the bottom of the mountain or the top of the mountain, camping, who knows what it is, probably taking a break, taking a nap. And then she goes to say what kind of made me and feel like I was on the right track is where she speaks about, I want to see how many stars are still in the sky that we have not smothered for years now, a century at least. When you think about it, the first thing I thought about was cars, gasoline, oil, all that. The gas that goes up in the air that we smothered. And then now you got to think about, well, why is she trying to see that? She's stargazing. So putting all these pieces together, I think that I made an analytically correct analysis that she just wants a place where she can write, develop as a person, but at the same time rest and just enjoy every bit of nature. And again, with the help of a little bio, that is what helped me to draw that conclusion, is she just wants to live in a peaceful, natural way. Yeah. I don't know how it gets any better than that. Okay? I think I did a good job. Thank you to all my English teachers for that, because for all the kids watching, that's what you learn in English. That's what you learn in English. So pay attention. But yeah, that's Mary Oliver, The Poet Dreams of the Mountain. I would definitely be looking at her works. And I will say that, let me know what you guys think down below. And, at some point I'll probably bring back this poem, not to say that it's just, I throw away all the poems that I read on this podcast, but, to bring back and dissect it even more as we grow and as I read more of her work to understand, okay, I want to bring back, the Poet's Dreams of the Mountains, and say, all right, I got a new conclusion, or I got deeper thinking to go into. And with your comments you guys put down, they're like, hey, this person said this and I never thought about it that way. That's all. So yeah, that's poem of the day. Once again, Mary Oliver, Poet's Dreams of the Mountains. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. September something, coming around, getting close. That is the start of NFL. Yes. We're getting into it. NFL season here on the Talking Block. We're talking top 10s, top 10 players, top 10 plays, top 10 mic'd up. I mean, we're going to get into all of it. We're going to talk about the worst plays. We're going to talk about some of the worst players. We're going to talk about some of the expectations that we got. I mean, week one, how they looking, everything. Speaking of that, hopefully my mic's picking it up, but the point is, if y'all can see that, I don't know if y'all can see that. I'll post a picture. This is a beautiful notebook. I don't have the tablet that I currently want at the moment, but that's all right. Of everything that I decided to go back and look at during the preseason. Preseason has started. I can't lie, I got a little lazy, so I have not watched all preseason games, but I think I was able to watch at least every team play at some point. Yeah. I will say, the first thing I want to talk about is this new kickoff. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. I think that it's going to be interesting. Of course, it's into play to help the players return more kickoffs. There is still touchbacks. There is still a possibility that they might not run. But the way that it's set up, it's pretty interesting. And just by watching preseason, most of the players that were returning the football, they actually returned and they got good yardage. Like the kicker might have punted it to the end zone and they were able to get up, a good 15, 20 yards. So we'll see. I really do believe that this is going to work out. Granted, if it doesn't, there's always something new. Another thing is this hip drop tackle. It's been a very big talk about, for at least for the fans. The fans feel like there's just everybody's going to be running free now. So we'll see how that plays out. I haven't really seen it much preseason. At the same time, I'm not exactly sure what it looks like. I know that it's somewhere wrapping your body, well, not your body, but your arms around their hips, their legs, and just kind of pulling them down. So I'm not completely sure. Don't quote me. All the football fans, comment down below. Let me know if I'm speaking the right thing or not. I know bare minimum, a little above bare minimum, somewhat above bare minimum. Okay, I know enough to watch it. All right, I know enough to watch it. But yeah, as for the teams, Texans and Bears, that was like one of the first games that I saw. We saw Tank. No, it was not Tank Dell. That was the next game that they played. I lied. Yeah, Davis Mills, he pulled out a pretty good juke move. I'm not putting any clips because I don't want to edit that today. I really don't. And plus, we're just talking about what we see. We're not worried about the score. We're not worried about everything because at the same time, preseason is mainly for the rookies to get out there, see how it feels. At the same time, coaches nitpicking and be like, hey, I want this to be my starter. You're a good backup, da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah, I'm not dropping clips. If you want to watch the clips, go back to YouTube and go watch them yourself. All right? All right. Anyways, Texans, Davis Mills, he put out a nice little juke move. At the beginning of the game, Bears were just fumbling. So were the Texans. It was just like a fumble game at the start, but they got it together. Brent Rippon, I like what he's doing. I think he's going to put up some good numbers. Tommy Sweeney, which is a tight end, he is looking solid. I like him as a tight end. He looks pretty nice. Lions and Giants. Watching that game, the Lions defense was a little iffy. Again, it is preseason, so a lot of rookies, a lot of newbies. But at the same time, it was like, ugh, like I know that y'all can't be that bad. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next page. Oh, this one says Panthers and Patriots. Yes, the Patriots defense is looking real solid. They opened up that game with a nice big old sack, and it was beautiful. I think that if the preseason defense looks like that, hopefully the in-season defense looks even better. If they do, I can't say that they'll go to the playoffs, but they'll be in some nice contention spots for like top 10 teams, all that within the season. So I didn't have much for the Panthers. I wasn't really paying attention to them that much. I didn't see Bryce Young play that game, so I'm not sure if he's played at all preseason yet. Again, I have not watched all the preseason games, but yeah. Dolphins and Falcons. I don't got much for that. They pulled a nice trick play. I was like, okay, cool, yeah. Nothing really to look at that game. Okay, all right. Texans and Steelers. Justin Fields put out on the field. He's looking pretty good. He looks good in that Steelers uniform. I can't even lie. Looks a little nice. Looks a little better than he did in the Broncos. No, it wasn't the Broncos. What's the Broncos? Whatever the previous team he was the Bears. I think it was the Bears. Pretty sure it was the Bears. Yeah, he looked good in that Steelers uniform. Okay. Tank Dell and CJ Stroud put a little touchdown. They're going to be a wonderful matchup this season. They're going to be an iconic and probably in the top 10 for, superlatives as in the best quarterback wide receiver duo. They're going to do their thing. And hopefully Tank Dell has completely recovered. He had injuries last season, and then he was shot over the summer. So, granted, it was a little while ago, but even then, just that mentality part can always kick somebody up, especially that he has not played since last season. So this is technically still his first season. So we'll see how he does. But if they get it together, as long as he's good, they're going to be something unstoppable. As for the Texans itself, they're also looking unstoppable. They've got a lot of powerhouses. They just added, what is his name? It's on the top of my tongue. Stephon Diggs. They have, who else? They have Schultz, Tank Dell, CJ Stroud. They got a lot of good players, and their defense and O-line was looking amazing last year. Hopefully they look even better this year. So we'll see. And then they got that new head coach, which is black. Kudos to him. So we will see what they look like this year. Commanders and Jets. Hartman showed out. He's from Notre Dame. I watched him a couple of times. He's a good quarterback. He was looking real nice during the Commanders and Jets game. Can't wait to see what he puts up. Eagles and Ravens. Nate Wiggins is something dangerous. Oh my goodness. He is on the Ravens. He is a cornerback. Something dangerous. He came out preseason against the Eagles, absolutely dominating he was on every tackle practically, and it was beautiful. Josh Johnson. I want to say that Josh Johnson looks like a somewhat reverbed version of Lamar Jackson, and that's not a bad thing, but he's got good runs, he's got good passes. With him and Lamar Jackson together, they're going to be something unstoppable too. I can't wait to see what he does. Of course, Lamar Jackson will most likely be the starter. Josh Johnson will be the backup. But either way, no matter who steps on the field, I think that the Ravens are pretty set up in a good spot to get some good contentious spots to playoffs and even the Super Bowl. Okay, all right. Who's next on the list? Packers and Browns, Bucks and Bengals, Chiefs and Jags. Burton, I don't remember his position, but he plays for the Bengals right now. He was running a couple good routes. He made 2 touchdowns. With him, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, they got a good powerhouse right there. Hopefully Joe Burrow is completely healed too, so that we can see some good stuff from him. Hopefully go back and win the Super Bowl this time. I'd like to see another Super Bowl. Not another Super Bowl, but another Patty Mahomes and Joe Burrow matchup in the Super Bowl. I think that'd be something great. Vikings and Raiders. Minshew, who is now the quarterback for the Raiders. Not sure if he's starting or not. Couldn't tell you. Most likely is, but he's now on the Raiders. He was playing for the Colts last year. Vikings, their run game, absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see if they keep that run game like they do. They're really in some good. Honestly, I believe that they could be in a good contentious spot for at least close up to playoffs. I don't want to say they're going to go, but they could be around the team that just slightly misses it because of probably one stupid play that they make. But yeah, they're looking real good. Their run game, quarterbacks, they're all looking good. I can't wait to see what happens there. Who else we got? The 49ers and Titans, Seahawks and Jags. Oh no, that says Chargers. My bad. Saints and Cardinals, Broncos and Colts, Cowboys and Rams. 49ers, Josh Jacobs in the O-line. Josh Jacobs, he's looking pretty decent. Of course, with the 49ers, there's so many teams that I kind of want to see go to the Super Bowl this year. Of course, there can only be 2. But as for the 49ers, I really do want to see them go back. George Kittle, when he first went with the 49ers, they lost. He said he'd be back. Then last year, they lost. He said he'd be back. So I'm expecting to see them back. Of course, they got George Kittle, Ayuk, Nick Bosa on defense. Who else? I don't know why I was about to say George. McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. Here's what I believe about Brock Purdy. And I was telling my mom as I was watching the Super Bowl, if Brock Purdy can get on a run out of the pocket, like he likes to stay in the pocket, and at the same time when he gets out of the pocket, he just stays stationary. If he can learn how to run with the ball, they're set. honestly, I really do believe that they're set. He just has to learn how to run in and out of the pocket. But yeah, as for that, they're good. Seahawks defense, Chargers. I don't know. These are things I wrote down that I just like. Okay, I saw, but like, I didn't have much for the Broncos and Colts. Their games were a lot of picks and a lot of fumbles. But I will say that I think the Broncos debuted their new jerseys with the Colts this preseason, and they're looking pretty nice. Looking pretty nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Cowboys and Ravens. Of course, the Rams. I mean, not Ravens. Cowboys and Rams. Of course, the Rams won by kickoff. I think I've realized that a lot this preseason. There's a lot of kickoffs. Sean McVay, the one thing that he said about kickoff is that's what's going to set you apart. And if I feel like with them going down that direction, they might be going back to, what was it, 2019? Whenever they went against the Bengals, Sean McVay in an interview, he said, kickoffs is what is going to set us apart. And if they're going down that route, they might be heading back to the Super Bowl. What else we got up here? This last page. Eagles and Patriots. Eagles debuted their tush push. They were 4th and 1 against the Patriots. They did not make it though, which is, kind of sad because it's the tush push. But we'll see how that goes. And then I got Vikings and Browns. Caleb Williams. I did it again. Not the Browns, the Bears. I was tired when I was writing this out. As you can see, I don't know if you can. Let's try this camera. Can you see that? But it says Browns, and I meant to put Bears. But anyways, Caleb Williams, he made his debut against the Vikings. He was looking amazing. They with him and Sweeney, and then a whole bunch of others. I don't remember the names. They looking pretty good. I do want to talk about Wambu. He is a running back, and like I said, if Vikings can keep this run game up, they are in some good spots. And Wambu is going to lead that. Wambu was looking real good at a running back, making some nice good plays, running for about the first down, and then 5, maybe at least 10 yards. But they're looking pretty good. But yeah, that's everything for the football season. Get this behind my back. I meant to throw this behind a chair. That's everything for the football season. It's looking pretty bright, looking pretty good. I can't wait. I'm gonna talk about it with y'all. I'm gonna talk about it all with y'all. Hopefully, we can get some guests in. I really do want to, interact and connect with other people that love football as much as I do. Especially get some experienced people that know a little bit more about it, and not even experienced people that are, like coaches, stuff like that. I'm gonna be looking networking because I don't want to do this part by myself. I want to make it interesting. I want to get input. So yeah, I mean. Hey, and honestly, best believe I want to interact with y'all. So if y'all want to join, with restrictions, I will say that. I mean, because everybody watches this. So if I feel like you don't make the cut, I will tell you that. But if y'all guests want to join, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I love to interact with y'all. Tell me what y'all think. But yeah, that's the plan. As for this NFL season, we're just gonna be talking about all top 10s, what we think, who's going to playoffs, interacting with people, others on this podcast. I'm excited. Yes, go. Anyways, next segment. We talked about the NFL season. Now it's time to get deep. Time to get serious because we talk about the news. This took me by surprise a little bit. Missouri death row inmate expected to be resentenced to life without parole under new agreement. This case that I'm about to speak about happened in 1998, but Marcellus Williams, he was being charged with a murder case in 1998. And recent Missouri prosecutors came up and said, well, he was sentenced to be executed September 24th. But Missouri prosecutors came up and was like, hey, weird thing, but as we're looking through the, details, we found out that, Marcellus Williams, his DNA is not on the murder weapon and it is nowhere near in the scene. Okay. Huh? I mean, like, what? How do you get a man tied up with a murder scene and his DNA ain't on the weapon or in the crime scene? Like, let's make that make sense. How? So now my question poses to the judicial system, as in, who was running the case that day? Like, who was investigating? Who brought it to the prosecutor? And what was the prosecutor doing? And at the same time, let's not forget about the judge. The judge ain't seen nothing wrong with any of this. Like, it's a triangle right now because they all got to go with each other. At some point, somebody should have saw a flaw, and that's how this. Honestly, that's how the judicial system is still kind of to this day. And it's gotten a lot better. And I will say that he is black, so of course, being black, it's not going to be in his favor. I hate to play that card, but we've seen it in the past. Let's speak of the Central Park Five. It's never been in their favor. It's just justice has never been in a black person's favor. And I don't know I'm not sure if he's done anything else wrong that made him in this predicament. But at the same time, he's still human. So even if he has done something before, why are we drawing the line at this and putting this on his plate too? Because we are now messing with a man's life. So it just shocked me because I'm just like, what? You got a man sitting here since 1998. It is now 2024. When was this article written? Let me pull up the article. And I know it's new because I make sure I look up the most recent news. Where's it at? August 21st, 2024. Yeah, so I don't even want to do the math right now. I mean, if we do the math, 2004 minus 1998. Wait a minute. I got a calculator right here. Why am I drawing it out and I got a calculator right here? If it wants to work. Calculator. Just give me a minute, people. I'm gonna turn it off, turn it back on, and hopefully we can get things up and running again. There we go. Yep. It wants to move now. Let me find my calculator. Let's make sure that this mic is still on too. Okay, it is still on. I was having a whole bunch of malfunctions yesterday. Mic didn't want to stay on, and at the same time, I forgot to turn it on. So yeah, luckily it is still on today. Minus 2004 minus 1998 equals not now equals 26. All right, that's 26 years that this man has been with this charge. And within that 26 years, nobody decided to say, hey, his DNA ain't on the scene of a murder weapon. Come on now. 26 years, 2 decades, in 6 years? What are we doing? Like, Lord Jesus. But yeah, that's some. Again, I don't know what he did in the past. I don't know how much of a lifestyle his lifestyle was bad. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I don't know how bad his lifestyle was before. But whether or not it was or wasn't, to put that on somebody's plate and now play around with their life. Granted, he's now getting life in prison with no parole, so he really doesn't have a life. But still, at least he get to breathe and experience whatever that they do in the jail cell. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just no longer is it really about him, but it's about the judicial system and what they're willing to do. Because what about somebody who's not in prison yet, but you about to send to prison? Again, Central Park 5. It's getting a little outrageous. Like, we got to do better. And I don't know how we do better. Again, it goes back to what was it when we were talking about gun violence, and Sonia Massey, and then the 4-year-old. I don't know how we're supposed to get better, but we got to get better, because what? You got a man sitting here about to get executed for something he didn't even do. And then there's proof. There's proof for it. That's the worst part. There is proof for it. Huh? You got proof that he didn't do it? Now, of course, they're going to go through it, make sure that it's real proof. I'm not going to read the whole article. If you want to look it up, it's on CNN. You can look it up for yourself. As I got it off of CNN. Yep. The title is, again, it was written by Dakin Andone, Missouri death row inmate expected to be resentenced to life without parole under new agreement. So if you want to look it up for yourself. But with proof, we are now claiming that this man was not in a situation. Now there is his DNA on the murder weapon. Like, what more do you do? What more do you do? Couldn't tell you. But yeah, that's the news on that. As for what's going on in the black community, I want to bring this up. Please understand, I'm not a fan, but I don't dislike this person. I don't know this person. I'm not automatically going to dislike you if I don't know you, unless I see things about you that make me dislike you. But even then, this person just acting, I believe, how they're supposed to. They believe they're supposed to act. So that's none of my business. But let's talk about our 1 in a million rap artist of the year, Sexy Red. If you know where I'm going with this, Sexy Red has made a lip gloss brand line that is absolutely outrageous. I'm not going to talk about all the names, but 2 names that stuck out to me: yellow discharge and gonorrhea. Like, what are we talking about? I watched a TikTok video and someone was speaking about, if she had made a lip gloss line, she had made one lip gloss with that line and named it Sexy Red, that would have made sales. And I could not have agreed more, because when you think about it, this is where my little artistic mind comes into play. I think about it. She would have made a lip gloss. It would have been like nice little rose red, and then probably sprinkle a little burgundy, maybe fuchsia up in there, and then a little color to offset it. So maybe purple or blue, because red and blue make purple, and then at the same time red and blue make purple. So she would have blue or purple. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But no, she made a couple of lip glosses with some outrageous names, and I'm just sitting here like, what is going on? And I did, what's funny? I did see the post of when it officially aired out. I saw her holding the pink box, but I'm thinking she's sponsoring something. I'm thinking she's sponsoring, I don't want to say Maybelline. I don't even know what she would sponsor. That's the thing. I don't even know what she would sponsor. But I'm thinking she's sponsoring something. No, this girl is holding her lip gloss line with some of the most outrageous names in the world. Whoa. You can look it up for yourself, but we got to stop and pause and think about the things that we do, guys. I know that I'm young and I'm still learning, but at the same time, can we just stop and pause and be what is this gonna look like? Because speechless, just speechless. I don't know what made her to process that. And no discredit to you. I mean, make money how you make money, I guess. But okay, some people take the hardworking and this is what I'm gonna do route, and then some people just take the I never would have expected that route. And she took the I never would have expected that route. But okay. Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, Sexy Red has made a lip gloss line that will forever be infamous for its names, and I don't think that it's going to get very much sales. Probably 20 at the most for those diehard Sexy Red fans out there that are just much as kooky and weird as she is. Love you guys. And again, let me just say this. I'm not hating. I'm not. Again, her lifestyle is none of my business. We live completely two different lifestyles. That's cool. We all live completely different lifestyles. It's just a matter of the fact, when you walk in a store and you see a lip gloss on the shelves, the first name that you don't want to see is yellow discharge or gonorrhea. I'm saying, but okay. Yeah, that's the end of this podcast episode. We went from, my posing the question, not a question today, but it is a question today. What are you expecting from the NFL season, from the coaches, players, teams, all that jazz, fans, the mascots? Hopefully we see a little, mascot and kids game this year. I enjoy those all the time. To the poem of the day, Miss Mary Oliver, who was a wonderful poet, and I expect to bring more of her work onto this podcast with her title of the poem, A Poet Dream of the Mountain. To the topic of the day, which was talking about the NFL season. We're talking about preseason. Let me get my notepad again. Oh my goodness, it's a spider. Okay, it's a fat one. Yeah, on that notepad there was a list of games and all things about it, players and what I liked, and a spider. And to the news about Marcellus Williams, who was recently, his case was reevaluated because his fingerprints and DNA were not found on the murder weapon or on the murder scene, discussing the fact of how is our judicial system working. I wish I could speak. No, that spider really tripped me up. Let me take a breath. Whew! Too Sexy Red in her wonderful lip line. I thank you for watching today's podcast episode. Make sure that you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Google Podcasts no longer has their streaming site. They have taken it down, so there is no longer any more Google Podcasts. But as for other podcasting platforms, go check me out. Stay here on YouTube for the Talking Block Live. Make sure to follow my Instagram at TheTalkin'Block. Follow me on TikTok at toast.to.becoming. Make sure that you share, like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow. I want you guys to be proud of the podcast that you guys are watching. I want you guys to be proud of me as a podcast host. And I want to be proud of you guys as a podcast family, because we're a family. We're a neighborhood. Everybody at their little house and sitting on their block. Okay? All right. So I love you guys. I thank you for the support. I will see you guys next time. And this is your podcast host, Nate, signing off. Peace. I just realized something. I think I did this all in one take, and I'm proud of myself. Round of applause. All right, bye. Can we also talk about my microphone is still on and the camera ain't shut off? All right, seriously, bye.